Hi, I'm Drake Stein. I'm 174 here at Purdue, and I'm going to take you through this week's edition of Technique of the Week. This week, I'm going to go over just a little overhook throw series. A lot of times in college wrestling, I find out that guys like to dig underhooks a lot, so it's kind of helpful to have in your tool bag a little overhook throw that whenever guys pummel in. So when a guy pummels in on an underhook, however he gets there, if he snaps your head, whatever, you're in this position. You got an overhook. Now, whenever you get in here, you really want to pinch this tight because this is your goal. If you let this loose, he's going to drop down to all kinds of single legs and do all kinds of stuff that is no good. So whenever he gets in there on this underhook, you really want to come deep and bring your arm through like this. Now he's going to be trying, he feels like he's in control because he has the underhook and everything, which is fine. I don't really mind that because he'll be aggressive and I can use his momentum to throw him. So he's going to be coming in, stepping in, trying to step in front, tripping, trying to step behind, all kinds of stuff. Now what I want to do is, I don't even really need control of this, but it's nice to have. Whenever I go to throw, I'm going to step in and kind of shoot my butt through all the way to this side. So I'm going to come in like this. And as you can see, his feet just popped up real easy. So like that's what I'm using to lift. I'm using my hips. I'm not really using this arm. So whenever I want to look for that, I want to make sure this foot is stepped forward. If this foot is stepped back, then whenever I hip in, his hips aren't loaded, so I can't use my hips to lift his. So whenever his foot's back, that's not whenever we want to hit this throw, which there's another variation that I'll show later what you do when he steps that leg back. So whenever he's stepping in here and we're moving and moving, then I'm going to step and pop my hips through and really load my hips like this. And it's really important to get those hips all the way across, especially when you're drilling, just because the over-exaggerate it, because whenever we're wrestling, he's not just going to let me step in all the way. He's going to try to bounce off a little bit, but I can still load him and throw him a little bit if he circles off. So I'll show you what it looks like kind of slow whenever you finish it all the way to the mat. So I'm going to step in, finish right here. Now you want to keep that overhook because this is like what they call like a Jacob's hook, or there's a couple different names for it. Whenever you get him on the mat, you really want to keep this, and if you start, you want to plant this hand on the ground and try to underhook it, just so if this slips out, you can slip straight to a headlock and pin right there and get your hips up and watch that step over. But overall, the first thing you want to do is keep this Jacob's hook because there's a lot of pressure on the shoulder with that. So you can come here and almost belly out and scoop, which is nice. Or if he scrambles out, then I can go to a headlock. But if he starts bellying down, just circle behind. Don't try to commit to the throw, or sometimes you can end up getting reversed. So now that you know what to do in that position, when he gets you an underhook, if he steps that leg back and this throw isn't there after I've tossed him a couple of times, he doesn't want none. So I'm going to hip in. When he steps around, that's when I'm going to hit my throw this way. Now, the important thing there on that throw is it's a little bit more dangerous than this throw, because if he bounces off on this throw, you can just circle and you're still in there. But this throw requires a little more commitment, and if you're going to hit it, you just better hit it 100%, because, I mean, you can get it most of the time, but if you hit it halfway, he's going to stop you on your back. One of the most important things that I like to do whenever I hit this throw is I step in and I try to get this knee on the outside of this leg. So if I hip in and I step here, I'm blocking this leg right here. And then I'm going to sit in my chair and hit. Now, you can look for this right here, but that kind of telegraphs it. That's like a lateral drop. Some of you guys know that. I like to just stay right here because my money is right here on this overhook. That's what's going to throw him. I like to post on the chest, or sometimes I hook here and lock on my own bicep, but that kind of telegraphs it as well. But if you want to just hit like a throw and a scramble, you can just come here, just keep the overhook tight, and post on his chest. So like one more time, he keeps that leg back, so this throw isn't there, then I'm going to come back and throw right there. Same finish, go to the Jacob's hook, but you're on this side. Most of the time I'll switch off to a headlock right here, or you can sit through and lift his head and come through right here, keep the Jacob's hook, but just sit, and it's a lot of pressure right there to finish. So that's all for this week's Technique of the Week.